Welcome to the first update sneak peek of the biggest update in Brawl Stars history. I've got answers to all of your guys' questions regarding the new Brawler Unlock Road, including how long it takes to unlock every Brawler, or how long it takes to completely max out a brand new account, and how much value the new Brawl Pass has in comparison to the old Brawl Pass. We'll also cover balance changes, 4 new gears, skin costs and animations, and a whole lot more. Let's start by breaking down the new Starr Road. The Starr Road is where you will unlock all non-chromatic Brawlers. You progress through the Starr Road every single time you get credits, and once you get enough credits to unlock your Brawler, you'll have at least one chance to change your choice. Once you unlock that Brawler, then you move on to the next point in the Starr Road where you unlock the next Brawler, okay? Whenever you make a choice to unlock a specific Brawler, the other Brawlers that you do not choose will move to the next point in the Starr Road where you will unlock their same rarity later on. Now, in order to avoid confusion for new players or like decision paralysis, rather than giving players like the opportunity to choose between all 13 epic Brawlers, your choice will be limited to a maximum of 4 Brawlers. That means that you'll have to progress pretty far into the Starr Road to unlock some of the Brawlers, right? And most specifically, new Brawlers will actually be added to the very end of the Starr Road. Now, you'll need varying different amounts of credits depending on the rarity of the Brawlers that you're unlocking. 160 credits for rare Brawlers, which by my estimate should take just under about an average of 3 days to unlock. Then we have super rare Brawlers at 430 credits, which will take an average of about 9 days. 925 credits for epic Brawlers, which will take around 19 days. 1,900 credits for mythic Brawlers, which will take about 38 days. And 3,800 credits for legendary Brawlers, which by my estimates should take about 77 days. Now, these estimates are based off of a free-to-play player who saves their gems to buy every other Brawl Pass, because that is the most effective place for you to spend your gems. It's also assuming that the players play active enough to hit the bonus rewards at the end of the season about 50 times. And if you play every single day and complete all of your quests, you'll progress faster, and it will take longer if you aren't as active, okay? But 50 bonus progression rewards at the end of the season is actually like that's a good goal for you to try and hit, okay? Also, I should mention that if you buy every Brawl Pass, you will be able to complete the Starr Road and unlock Brawlers even faster. Probably the most significant part of this new progression system is how much easier it's going to be to unlock legendaries. Before the update, it took the average free-to-play player just over 1 year to unlock a legendary Brawler, and after the update, you'll be able to do so in 2.5 months, which is just like awesome. Also, everyone's first legendary is 50% off whether you've unlocked them with credits or gems, so it will unlock twice as fast. And this is going to be the case for your next legendary as well, not just new players. So if you have all of the legendaries unlocked already, then when Chester, the newest legendary added into the game, is released, then you'll be able to unlock him twice as fast, or buy him for 50% off if that's how you plan on doing it. Now, whenever a new Brawler is released, you can choose to switch to unlock that new Brawler in the Starr Road, as long as you already have a Brawler of the same rarity unlocked. So if in order for you to be able to start unlocking Chester right at the very beginning after this update, you have to have at least 1 legendary unlocked. Now, if you choose not to unlock that Brawler, then they will be moved to the back of the Starr Road. And also, you have to choose to unlock it within 70 days of the Brawler becoming available. In other words, after this update, or it will be moved to the end of the Starr Road. Once you've made the decision to unlock the new Brawler, you can abandon the unlocking progress and go back to unlocking the previous Brawler that you were working on. But if you do that, you won't be able to go back to unlocking the newest Brawler until you reach the end of the Starr Road. Another absolutely massive change in this update is the removal of Brawl boxes, including on the Brawl Pass. And here is the new Brawl Pass. As you can see, the Brawl Pass rewards have changed a ton, okay? I have broken down all the rewards for before the update and after the update. I've compared it to the previous Brawl Pass, and I wanted to share my findings with you guys, okay? In total, the free pass will give you 9,360 gold and 3,070 power points each season. Now, I compared these numbers to what you used to get and included the average golden power points from boxes as well, and I found out that we are getting about 20% more gold from the Brawl Pass and just about the same number of power points from both the free side and the paid side of the pass. Now, the massive gold increase is to help make up for the fact that we will no longer be getting free gadgets and free star powers anymore at all. So like, you've got to give props to Supercell for considering that, right? Like that's absolutely massive, because you'll now have spare gold to make up for those. By the way, if you want to buy a gadget or a star power for a specific brawler, all you have to do now is go to the brawler selection page, select the item that you want right then and there, and buy it with gold. You don't have to unlock gadgets or star star powers that are useless anymore. You can just choose to unlock the ones that you want. Now, as for the power points, I said that they're just about the same. It looks like we are getting just a very slight decrease in the power points that we could get, at least according to my own personal calculations, which might be off because I base it off of like the average Brawl box. But either way, there's 3 reasons why I don't think this is actually too big of a big deal, aside from the fact that it's not very much of a difference. The first reason is that we're still getting enough power points to completely max out 2 brawler, 1.5 brawlers every season. The second is that gold is still actually going to be the limiting resource to a maxed account, because if you want to get all the gears on all of your brawlers, then it's going to cost a lot of gold for you to do that. And the third, and probably the biggest reason why I'm not so concerned about this, is that all of the power points that we are getting are now wild card power points that we can spend however we want. That's right. Every time we unlock power points, they will go to a PowerPoint bank, which you can then use to upgrade any brawler that you want. No more getting power points assigned to brawlers that you don't care about. Instead, you'll now be able to not only unlock the brawlers that you want, but also upgrade the ones that you care about. As a side note, the big box at the end of the Brawl Pass is being replaced with bonus rewards that come with it. Every time you hit that 500 token requirement for you to get those bonus rewards, you'll get 145 gold, which is slightly less than what you would get from a big box. You'll also get 40 power points, which is almost exactly what you'd get in the average big box, and then 25 credits, which didn't exist before this update. So honestly, the value after reaching the end of the Brawl Pass is like pretty much just about perfect. So what about chromatic brawlers? On the free side of the Brawl Pass, you will get 500 chroma credits every season as long as you complete the whole Brawl Pass, which you can then use to spend on chromatic brawlers. Most chromatic brawlers will cost 500 chroma credits, which means that on top of unlocking brawlers from the Starr Road, you'll also get 1 free chromatic brawler every season. Now, the current Brawl Pass chromatic brawler will only be unlockable from the Brawl Pass, and the most recent chromatic brawler from the most recent season will cost 1,500 chroma credits, and that's more expensive. It's 3 times as much, so I don't think it's really ideal to unlock that chromatic brawler. I would rather just wait until the chromatic brawler will cost 500 chroma credits, since their value will decrease to that point after 3 seasons. And honestly, getting 1 chromatic brawler for 500 credits on top of everything else is like, it's actually really fantastic. Now for some interesting stats that I calculated based off of a free-to-play player who actively plays and buys every other Brawl Pass. It will take them 3.4 years to unlock every brawler in the game. They'll also be able to completely max out 1.5 brawlers each season. It will take them roughly 7 years to max out a brand new account so that every brawler is power 11 with 1 gadget, 1 star power, and 2 super rare gears, assuming Supercell doesn't add new brawlers into the game, which they absolutely will. Okay, now these numbers are just estimates, and it's definitely possible to make it happen sooner if you, number 1, are more active than the average free-to-play player who's, well, very active. You're like incredibly active and you don't miss out on any rewards. Number 2, if you buy every single Brawl Pass. And there's also a ton of rewards that I didn't mention that are available in the Trophy Road. And these estimates, especially, that is most important, do not take the club shop into consideration at all, okay? The club shop is still one of the best places to get progression every single week, especially when it comes to buying power points. Now, I know that these numbers might sound long, but I think that my favorite thing about this update is that players will be able to hyper-focus all of their resources onto 1 brawler at a time and try to get as many brawlers to a competitive level as possible. The only drawback is that new players won't unlock so many new brawlers as fast as they used to, but I actually think that's healthier for the game because, first of all, they'll get legendaries like way faster, so they'll get all of the brawlers in the game much faster than they could before, but also it's a little bit healthier because they'll be able to unlock and max out more brawlers more frequently, so they'll actually have more brawlers at a competitive power level easier, which is really awesome. Also, just one random side fact, if you wanted to buy every brawler in the game outright with gems, it would cost $600 to unlock all non-chromatic brawlers, so that's kind of interesting. There is one very small drawback to this update, it's really small. It's not a big deal. There is no longer going to be any free token doublers from boxes, right? We're getting way more rewards in gold in this update than before though, so I think this is completely completely fine. Just keep in mind that your number one best way to spend gems is buying every other Brawl Pass. And the second best way, if you are willing to spend some extra money, is on token doublers. Now that we've covered the Starr Road, what happens after the Starr Road? How exactly does fame work? Once you've unlocked every brawler in the game, all of the credits you unlock will go towards your fame rank. Currently, your fame rank will only be visible on your home screen and profile page, but it will be visible elsewhere in the future. Every regular credit that you earn is 1 point toward your fame rank. But chroma credits actually works a little bit different. Players can save up to 5,000 chroma credits just chilling in their chroma credit bank, and you can choose when to spend your chroma credits on fame. Every 100 chroma credits spent will give you 200 points towards fame. Now the ranks go from global 1, 2, and 3 to lunar 1, 2, and 3, then to Martian 1, 2, and 3, Saturnian 1, 2, and 3, and finally solar 1, 2, and 3, which is the highest fame rank currently in the game. If you were to buy every Brawl Pass and actively play the game enough to get 50 bonus rewards at the end of every Brawl Pass, and you bought all of the new brawlers with gems so that all of your credits went towards fame, it would take you 3 years to reach Solar Fame 3, okay? So it's definitely possible to reach it, but it's going to take players a lot longer than that, since most active players will be using credits to unlock new brawlers. Now, some of you have said that you might not necessarily want to have your credits go towards fame, and you'd rather save them for new brawlers. Is there a way to do that? Yes, there is. Just like you could save brawl boxes and not open them up in the Brawl Pass before the update, you can still save credits on the Brawl Pass by not unlocking them. So rather than putting them toward your fame, you could absolutely just save them for future brawlers. Just keep in mind that after the update, we'll only be able to save the rewards from one previous Brawl Pass instead of 2 like in the past. So if you still have fame once the next season is over, then the fame on the previous Brawl Pass will just automatically go, or the credits will automatically go towards your fame. Now I want to jump back just a little bit and talk a little bit more about the Brawl Pass and whether or not you should open up boxes before or after the update. With the Brawl Pass changing so much and boxes being removed, Brawl Stars is compensating players who purchase the Ghost Station Brawl Pass in 2 ways. First of all, anyone who buys it before or after the update will be given 80 gems for free. You can do this clear up until January when the next Brawl Pass comes out, and that makes buying this Brawl Pass just a no-brainer. Also, if you bought it before the update arrives on December 12th, you'll receive credits from the Premium Pass based off of where you are in the past, on top of any boxes that you would have had before the update, okay? This is like, it's essentially like you're being able to double dip your rewards by buying the Brawl Pass before the update. So I highly recommend getting this Brawl Pass if you're able to because of that. This is the most value that you can get for your gems probably in the history of Brawl Stars. And you can do so in the most glorious fashion by buying it with code Kairos in the Brawl Stars shop, which is 2 times as effective in December. So that would be much appreciated. Now let's talk about what happens to any boxes that you have on your account once the update lands. Any Brawl boxes that you might have saved up anywhere will automatically be opened up when the update lands, and you will be given the rewards from them, okay? However, there is one slight difference in opening boxes before versus after the update. Any wildcard power points that you would have gotten from boxes or from the Brawl Pass before the update will be converted to coins. So if you want to get more power points towards opening up a specific brawler, open up the boxes yourself, and if you want more coins, let the game open it for you, okay? Honestly, there's no real right or wrong answer in the long run, but you might have a small preference, so keep that in mind. We got 4 new mythic gears coming to the game. Crow's new gear is Enduring Toxins. All poison damage dealt from Crow's main attack and super is increased by 30%. Now keep in mind that the initial damage dealt from his actual darts does not get the damage boost, only the poison damage every second after they're hit. Honestly, 30-second additional poison damage might not sound like very much since it's only an additional 36 damage every second for every tick, but this gear actually pairs up very well with his carrying Crow Star power and the damage gear as well, so we might actually end up seeing it a little bit more frequently than you might think. Spike's new gear is Sticky Spikes. This gear increases the slowing effect from Spike's super by 50%. So not only will brawlers struggle to get outside of his super, causing them to actually take additional damage while trying to get out, but they'll also be even easier to hit than before, okay? I think this gear is going to be absolutely fantastic every single time Spike is able to land a super successfully, because more slow is really annoying. Leon's new gear is Lingering Smoke. This makes it so that Leon's super lasts 1 additional second longer when it's equipped. This honestly probably won't make that much of a difference every single time Leon uses his super, but it could be a big difference if you do need that extra second. You do get an additional 1000 health with his Invisi-Heal star power and a good amount of extra distance with his Smoke Trail star power, so this actually pairs well with both of his star powers. Next we got Sandy's new gear, which is Exhausting Storm. This gear decreases damage from all enemies inside Sandy's super by 10%. Now in order for the damage to be decreased, the shot has to be fired from inside the super, so even if a brawler moves into the super before you're actually hit, it will still deal full damage. Honestly, in my opinion, Rude Sands has been the better star power for a really long time, but I think this new gear actually pairs up pretty well with his Healing Wind star power a little bit better, so we might end up seeing a little bit more of that. Now let's cover balance changes and then we'll cover the gem cost for all the new skins. Mr. P is getting a 5% buff to his attack damage, okay? At max level, it's increasing from 1080 damage per hit to 1140 damage. This is not a huge buff, but it will allow Mr. P to take out 8 brawlers with 1 less ammo, so it's not overly significant. El Primo is getting a 20% buff to the amount of damage that his super does. At max level, it's increasing from 1200 damage to 1440 damage, and honestly, I don't expect this to change very much for El Primo, but it will make him a little bit stronger every single time he successfully lands a hit with his super. Colt is getting a 5% buff to the speed of his projectiles. This is not a very big difference, but as you can see in this clip side by side, you can see kind of how it affects things before and after. This should make it a little bit easier for Colt to hit his shots, but I still don't imagine it will make him significantly stronger. Jesse's getting a 10% buff to the amount of HP that her turret has. At max level, it's increasing from 4500 HP to 4950. This will allow Scrappy to survive 1 additional ammo from 16 of the brawlers in the game. It's not actually a huge change because Scrappy will still get targeted, but it'll be a little bit stronger. Bull's super damage is getting a 20% buff. At max level, it's increasing from 1200 to 1440 damage, and just like El Primo, I don't see this being a huge difference for Bull, but it might help him in a few interactions where he otherwise would be out damaged after using his super. BB's getting a 5% buff to her HP. At max level, it's increasing from 660 HP to 690. This will allow BB to survive 1 additional ammo from 7 brawlers in the game, and it's not a huge buff, but it will give her a little bit more survivability. Grom is getting 2 buffs. The first is a 5% buff to his main attack damage, and at max level, this is increasing from 1650 to 1740 damage for each attack. This will allow Grom to take out 8 brawlers in the game with 1 less ammo than before, but then we have his second buff, which is a 10% buff to the attack projectile speed of his attacks. You can see a side-by-side comparison right here to see exactly how much easier it is going to be for him to actually land his hits after the update, and honestly, I think that this will make Grom significantly better with these 2 buffs combined, and I would not be surprised if he became a lot more competitive. Up next, we got Dynamite, who's getting a very interesting buff. The time from when he throws his attack to when the dynamite explodes is decreasing by 10%. This means it is going to be much easier for Dynamite to actually hit his shots and deal damage with them. However, it's nearly impossible to double jump with just his attacks now, if it is possible at all. Overall though, I think this is going to make Dynamite quite a bit stronger. Up next, we have a buff to Sam, who's getting a 4% buff to his HP. At max level, it's increasing from 7,800 to 8,100 total HP. This is going to allow him to survive 1 additional ammo from 8 of the brawlers in the game, and it's not massive, but he is one of the tankiest brawlers in the game, so it will help. Last up on the buff list is Gene. His Talk to the Hand mythic gear is getting a range buff to his super from 1/3 of an additional tile to a full additional tile in range. That's actually pretty significant, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Gene's mythic gear become his new best gear. Up next is a 5% nerf to Otis's attack damage. The damage is decreasing from 690 damage per projectile to 660 damage per projectile at max level. This means that Otis will require 1 additional ammo to take out 10 of the brawlers in the game, and it's not a very big nerf, but it will make Otis slightly less dominating. Griff is also getting a nerf. His super recharge rate is getting a 10% nerf, so he'll still charge his super just as quickly with his main attack, but when he hits an enemy with his super, it will now recharge his super 10% less. Honestly, I like this because Griff has been a little bit too strong now. He's still going to be very strong, but it will tone him down just a little bit. Buster is getting 2 nerfs. First is a 6% nerf to his attack damage, and at max level, it's going from 2,370 at close range to 2,220 damage at close range. This means he'll require 1 additional ammo to take out 7 of the brawlers in the game, and on top of that, he's getting a 4% nerf to his HP. At max level, it's decreasing from 7,500 to 7,200 HP, and he'll now survive 1 less ammo from 10 brawlers in the game. Honestly, Buster's just been way too strong for a while, and this should hopefully tone him down without making him completely useless. Finally, we have Gale, who's getting 3 nerfs. First is a 25% nerf to his supercharge rate from his attack, and second is a 40% nerf to his super recharge rate from his super. Both of these are going to make Gale's super much harder to charge, meaning that he'll have his super way less frequently than before. But on top of that, we have a 50% nerf to the duration of his Twister gadget. As much as I love using this gadget to torment my enemies, I absolutely think that this nerf is warranted because it's just too annoying in certain situations. Now let's go over all the animations and costs for the new skins. First up is Magma Queen Mandy, who will be the tier 70 reward of the Brawl Pass, and unfortunately I cannot show more of her until the future sneak peek. Next we have Gummy Bear Nita, who is the tier 1 reward of the Brawl Pass. Both of these skins, honestly, together, they provide insane value for the Brawl Pass. Honestly, like, these are two of the most awesome skins that I'm looking forward to in this update, with the other one being Frost Queen Amber, right? But Gummy Bear Nita is unique because every time she dies, she respawns as a different color of Gummy Bear. She starts out green every single match, but then she can respawn as either pink or yellow. And when she summons a bear, Bruce also changes colors as well. When she loses, she kind of just looks down, and she jiggles her Gummy Bear hat when she wins, which is actually kind of satisfying to watch. Next we have Pinata Ash, who will be the Power League skin for the update. He's an angry pinata who wields a chocolate shield and a jawbreaker flail. For his attacks, he slams the ground with various levels of candy depending on how raged he is, and he spawns a bunch of little candies that chase enemies down with his super. He swings around like crazy until I think he gets caught up in his rope or something like that and explodes when he loses. It's a little violent. And when he wins, he successfully swings around and gallops midair like he's a majestic knight, which he absolutely is. Next we have Buzzette, who will cost 149 gems. Buzz has become a candy-loving dino who is completely decked out in candy. I think this rainbow licking attack honestly might be the coolest short-ranged attack of any skin in the game. Now Buzz throws out a giant macaron for Buzz's super, and Buzz chokes on the macaron when they lose. I like that. I don't know what's going on right here. I can't tell if this rainbow thing is their tongue or if Buzz is like puking a rainbow. Either way, it's kind of interesting. But Buzz licks the macaron when Buzz wins. And the final Candyland update is Cupcake Daryl, who will cost 149 gems. And this skin looks pretty tasty if you ask me. Daryl's equipped himself with frosting dispensers that he uses to shoot globs of frosting at his enemies with. And when he supers, he gains a giant cupcake shield, which actually looks pretty cool. When he loses, I think he replaces himself with a partially eaten cupcake, and he fires stuff including a cherry on top of his head when he wins. Next we have the first Dark Brawladay skin, Krampus Ash, who will cost 70 gems. He's a Krampus hidden inside of a present, and I think someone was trying to get back at Chester because it listed this skin as a gift to Chester. Looks like he might have been doing too many pranks. For his attack, he fires varying level of scratches and I think presents, depending on how raged he is, and he releases a bunch of mini present bombs for his super. He angrily knocks himself on the head a couple of times when he loses, and when he wins, he busts out of a present very angrily as well. Next we have Yeti Sam, who will cost 149 gems. He's a chilly Yeti who wields what I think are the jaws of other Yetis, and he attacks with them with every punch and throws them out for his super. And when he loses, it looks like, I don't know, it almost looks like he gets shot over and like falls over dead. But when he wins, he musters up courage and then summons his jaw busters from the ground, which is kind of creepy. But the skin, okay, this could be my favorite skin ever. This, or maybe ever, I don't know. This is a really cool one. Frost Queen Amber will cost 149 gems. This skin is so cool, and I'm not just talking about temperature. Everything about this skin is just truly epic. In fact, I'm honestly kind of surprised it's not a 300 gem skin because it definitely, I would rank it up there. Now she shoots frozen fractals of icy wind with her attack, and that looks so awesome. But when she throws her super, it catches flame or frost or whatever, ice, I don't know, it just causes such a cool effect on the ground. Plus then you have the frost effect that enemies of taking damage over time, which actually looks really cool too. Then when she loses, she does this really interesting like disappearing act or something like that, I don't know. And she does this icy dance thing while she floats, and like when she wins, it just looks really cool. Now the first lunar brawl skin is Baiku Eve, who will cost 149 gems. She's a decked out space biker, which actually looks really cool. She fires these interesting looking space pods with her attack, and for a super, it looks like a growing robot is sucking energy from the ground until it finally erupts into 3 little robot evelings. Then when she loses, she hops onto her bike and starts driving off the screen, and she does this really cool bike slide whenever she wins. I've heard that it's a reference to some sort of anime I haven't watched yet, but it looks really cool. And then we have High Score Griff, who will cost 79 gems. And honestly, if I'm like being honest, I didn't think that this was a great skin when I first saw it, but now that I can see that somebody is playing an actual arcade game on him, I actually kind of find it cool, pretty cool, hilarious. He fires digital bunnies at his enemies with his attack, and for a super, he throws out a bunch of old gaming cartridges at his enemies. When he loses, he seriously glitches out. It looks really weird and kind of crazy. Part of me almost wonders if this is actually the finished animation because it's so weird. And when he wins, he makes that famous move of blowing on the cartridge before loading it up and playing a game. Up next is Classic Shelly, who will be the free gift on December 25th as part of a 4-year anniversary event. She doesn't have any other attack or super animations different from her base skin, but she's gonna be completely free, so I'm definitely not gonna complain. Next, we have the world champion Gus, who will cost 149 gems. He's themed after the winners of the world champion in 2022, which was Team Zeta, and instead of holding a balloon, the world championship trophy is floating above his phone. Now for his attack, he fires a pixelated trophy at his enemies, and a pixel ghost actually spawns every 4th hit. For a super, he fires a balloon crown, and when he loses, he completely rage quits and throws his phone. But when he wins, it kind of looks like he is like wins the world championship and is crowned world champion. Next, we have Sam the Teddy, who will be available for Brawlentines and will cost 29 gems. He doesn't have any animation changes, but he's themed after an adorable teddy bear. Finally, we have the 29 gem skins for the 3 new brawlers. I'm not able to show you any more details of these skins until future sneak peeks, but they're essentially cool recolors of all of the new brawlers, which is actually really awesome if you ask me. If anything, at least they're being released with a skin right off the bat. And that is absolutely everything that I'm able to talk about in this sneak peek. So make sure you guys subscribe for future sneak peeks because we've got a lot of videos to cover the new brawlers for. And also check out my other content right here. For now, this is KairosTime ticking by, and we will see you in Brawl Stars.